Well, we're getting closer to the end of 2012, and a lot of Oklahoma producers want to know, what about the demand in 2012?
Well, as we finish up the year, we don't think of, the holiday season as being a strong beef time or beef demand time of year.
Right.
But normally we don't see actually beef prices fall a great deal at the end of the year, and that's because there's a seasonal supply decrease that typically happens. This year, we're kind of in wait and see mode here for the rest of December. The other thing that's happened in the last few years is we've had this sort of growing tendency for featuring prime rib on New Year's. And so we've seen that buying recently. We've seen some strength in those middle meats, and that'll tail off here a little bit. So we're kind of in wait and see mode, probably mostly moving sideways here for the end of the year as we finish up 2012.
Okay, now let's talk about what everybody's talking about. Let's talk about the drought. What if the drought persists? Are we going to see cattle selling off?
Well, we will see continued liquidation if we go into 2013. And one of the questions I get from a demand standpoint from producers, we know we're going to see inevitably a significant decrease in beef production in 2013. And the question is, what will happen to demand? Will people just quit buying beef? And the answer, of course, is they won't quit buying exactly, but it will have an impact on the timing of things. If we have drought, we'll see more cows liquidated. We won't be retaining heifers, and so those two things will moderate the decrease in production in 2013. And now it won't lead to a decrease in beef prices. Right. It will simply take some of the pressure off on how fast prices need to go up. On the other hand, if we have more normal weather and some moisture, we won't see those cow liquidations. We will begin, at least in the second half of the year, to retain some heifers. And so we're going to really see the full effects of the decreasing supplies that we know are coming at us. It's not really a question of whether we'll have higher prices, it's a question of how much higher. Right. And how quickly we will get into that.
Okay, well, you kind of alluded to it. Let's talk about, say it rains tomorrow. Say we get 3 inches of rain tomorrow, and all the wheat pasture greens up, everything's great. Let's talk about what happens if that happens.
Well, in the short run, we're really late enough now. I'm not sure the wheat pasture at this point would be most useful probably to cow-calf producers. Right. To help them get through the winter. Those rains would have to include enough rain to rebuild some water supplies, and that's really the most critical factor here for the winter. But that would certainly set up then, the beginnings of, call it herd stabilization in 2012 or 2013 more so than real herd expansion, but it certainly would set the stage, and we would begin to see some of those expansionary kinds of things take place in the spring of 2013.
Okay, we're not talking rebuilding the herd, we're just hanging on to the herd we have.
We have to stop liquidating before we can start expanding, and that probably takes most of a year. So that's the best we could hope for in 2013.
Okay, thank you very much. Derrell Peel, Livestock Marketing Specialist here at Oklahoma State University.